So let's talk about tonight, James. We've got quite a topic.
Yes,
Now,
we do.
our messages and our loved one, what wisdom do they bring us?
Yeah. Well, number one, there is no death. That's the most important thing. And
Yeah.
again, if you don't mind, I'll refer to this book, which I'm highlighting,
Okay.
because it's such great stuff. And I've read many, many books on this. And my dog is right below me. Pearl's not left my side all day. She'll come right underneath me all day. It's amazing. Mhm. So I just highlighted this the spirit world. This man has been talking about leaving the body, of course, because this is an ultimate universe, grander in scale than our physical one, but also existing on a multitude of dimensional levels, which makes it, by all accounts, unlimited and infinite. And yet, even this is only a scratch on the surface of yet other sets of realities, which have no beginning and no end, and are beyond the capacity of our imagination. These worlds too can be entered into once our mind. Here, I love this one.
Yeah.
Once our mind meets a set of very specific conditions, and we have overcome our acquired conditioning, fears, and self-imposed limitations, they are the beginning of a much greater journey into the higher forms of awakening and vastly expanded states of consciousness, which no longer fit into the parameters of our normal understanding and definition of conventional knowledge. That's what this man writes. And it's
Wow.
so true. Because the spirit people try, as you know, when they try to come back, I can feel, you can sense that it's so big and they're trying to fit into this.
Yes.
And then people say, "Do you have a nickname?" No, because it's so grand. It's like, how could they?
Right.
They ask you about the second grade and to tell me who's sitting in front of you. It's just so.
I know. It's so myopic.
It's so myopic.
Yeah.
And that the only energy which keeps it all together is love. Love is the energy that goes through all different spaces and places. He said the world's as big as the other side, the spiritual dimensions, the worlds around us, they're as big as your imagination.
Right. Oh God, James. The biggest message I get. Oh, I have to tell you this. This was a good one. This happened to my niece over the weekend. My niece Liz lost a father figure to her.
Mhm.
And when somebody passes and you think to yourself, oh, I knew I should have gone to visit him and I didn't
Shoulda,
visit
woulda,
him.
coulda.
Should have,
Yeah.
would have, could have. And you
Yep.
feel that way. And she was so upset that she didn't go to visit him before he died. And that very night he came to her and he hugged her and he said, "It's okay. I love you and I want to say goodbye to you." And he hugged her and she said, "Kellee, I have never felt such relief in my life." That kind of just oh, thank you. And she had such an amazing experience, and that souls will do that for
So
us.
that exactly. I mean, I can't tell you how many times souls, spirits have come through and said, "Please don't cry for not being there."
Yes.
No, please don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. Because
Yes.
when you're upset, I see it in your auric field. I feel everything. I see everything. Don't do that to yourself. Please don't do that to yourself. I love you. Don't do that to you. Please don't.
Please don't. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the earth mind, not the spirit mind. It's our earth mind. I've also, it's so interesting because, the children that come through, I keep on saying, I'm not dead. Why do you go to the ground and look at the ground and talk to me? I'm here around you. Why do you do that? Even, when someone's cremated, why do you look at that? I'm not in that little vase there. That's not me. Why would you think I'm that? I become a figment of your imagination. No, I'm all around you. I'm part of you now. Here's a good one. I can be with you more now than I was when I was in the body.
Yes. I love that one. I could be with you now more. Yeah. I've heard that from my mom. My mom actually told me that.
And I also got to tell you that I find a lot of times the spirit people, now I'm going to cry. I was going to cry when I get the validation here, that they realize that they love you, they love us on such a level, and they didn't realize that on Earth. And they come back and they talk about, "I love you more than you'll even understand right now, but one day you will."
One day you will.
And another thing which is really right for this astrology you're talking about, and we're all going through right now, we have to remember that the spirit world is always taking care of us. They pull strings. They make things happen, not in time like we understand it, but they will make things happen and what's right for our souls because they love us so much. Mm-hmm. And recently I've done a lot of work with children passing over and organizations with children. And I think I told you this last week, we talked about it, that the children sometimes will go over to this side and really work at creating those spaces for the loved one, the mother or the father on earth, that they can live out their karmic obligations, and that child spirit has to go over and do that.
Wow. Yeah. So the child spirit is helping them.
It's a very busy world of worlds over
there.
Very, very busy. They don't sit around. They do things. It's a lot of work over there.
Yeah.
And you can go back. There's a lot of people, we find that when they pass over, they might not be ready for it. They don't feel they've done enough or understood enough. And they go right away to courses, universities, we call them universities. They call them universities, but college, higher learning. They will go there and understand. Like my sister Lynn is taking courses right now. She's on the other side, learning about human behavior. I mentioned that before. And a lot of spirits will do that. They feel like they want to understand more, so they study.
I had a really interesting experience with my father when he died. I just followed him over there. I really wanted to see what in the world he was up to. And I found him in a university with like a wood, a lot of old wood, and just this amazing old school that he was there. And he looked at me and he said, "What are you doing here?" I said, "I want to know what happened. Tell me everything." And he's like, and then I turned around and I saw another friend of mine who died maybe a month before that. And they were in the same class together.
Wow.
And it was really amazing. And then I couldn't stay. They had to kind of, I had to go.
Yeah, and something was really interesting, and I was reading this also in this book, but okay, fine. That's the way this guy writes, I'm telling you. And I love it. I just love it. I'm eating this book up. It's a non-physical tourist attractions. Anyway, it's great.
Non-physical tourist attraction. That's great.
We use our. What happens is you lose your individuality as far as you need to be married. If you're married, coupled with someone on the earth, you won't have it over there if you don't want it. You live your individual
if you don't want
lives.
it. Yeah, if you don't want it. But if you do want it, it's there. Yes.
Yeah, everybody goes and works their own self.
Yes.
And the commitment that we're here together on the earth was because we came back and we had to go through that time period on earth to learn from each other. And maybe there's karmic debts as well. But they talk a lot about individualistic souls in that you get to do your own thing, learn your own way. Now, my father, he's a school. He learned a lot. He did not believe in life after death. So that's pretty interesting. Yeah. And he does now, of course. And my sister had told me that her husband who suicided,
that's right.
which is a whole other thing. She said he's not with her anymore. They helped her over, and then they went their own way. And she understood that. Yeah.
She understood it. Wow.
My mother helped her for a little bit in transition, and our family will help us in transition. They'll help us that initial transition. But I think my sister knew enough about spirit. Obviously, she was mediumistic. So she understood, and they went away. They went on their own. And I mean, she takes me on. I know that she takes me on trips over there. And I sent you today something which I found really great in this book. That in spirit life, when you first go over there, your subconscious is lived. Everything in your subconscious is lived out.
Wow. Isn't that amazing? Anyway, everybody, really love to everybody. And we'll
love
be back
you guys. Thank you, everybody.
Beginning of September. Take care. I'll see you soon.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
You've been listening to Both Sides Now and Beyond, featuring spiritual medium and master teacher James Van Praagh and spiritual medium and psychotherapist Kellee White.
That was great. Maybe we changed some lives.
And maybe opened up some minds.
Which way do I turn?
Right. I mean left.